Hi, Brian Hour here from the Epic Edits weblog, and today I'm going to do a little video tutorial on the Retouch tool found in Adobe Camera Raw. A little while ago we talked about using the Photoshop spot healing brush to take care of spots and things on your photos, and I had mentioned in that article that I prefer the Retouch tool in ACR, so I figure instead of trying to write out how to use this Retouch tool, it would be a lot easier just looking at it on the screen. So we'll go ahead and try to do this as a screen capture. I'm just going to pull into Bridge here. I've got a photo that I'm ready to remove some spots and dust. This is a film scan, and it for some reason has a lot of dust and crud on it. I guess I didn't do a very good job clearing it off. So and I treat my film scans just like raw files for digital, so I mean they go through the same process. I process them through Camera Raw, and I don't modify them at all, so everything I do to this file is going to be non-destructive. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up in Camera Raw, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that we can really see those dust spots. We'll just pull into about 100%, and we'll go ahead and find a few. There's a few. Okay, there's a few decent ones down here in the water. Alright, so the Retouch tool, that's this little guy right up here. I'm going to try to be pretty quick with how it's used and things. So you've got a radius that you can adjust here. We'll get into what that does in a second. Then there's a heal option and a clone option, and I'll show you the difference between those. And then we've got this little toggle here, which I'll show you too. Alright, so to begin with, let's just set our radius to like 3, okay, and then click somewhere on the screen. That puts a red circle and a green circle down. The red circle is what we're trying to cover up, and the green circle is where it's sampling from. So it's kind of just like a clone stamp over in Photoshop, except here we can move our green spot and our red spot around in case we missed or in case we want to put it somewhere better. The radius, this just tells it how big or how small, between 1 and very large. Typically you want to keep it a little bit bigger than the spot, so in this case something like a 2 would probably work fine. Difference between heal and clone, let's see, to show you that I'm going to have to place our source over there on some green perhaps. There we go. Okay, so it's trying to sample in this green painted wood over here into the water, and you can see it's let me open this circle up a bit too. You can see it's a little bit fuzzy around the edges, but if we do a clone, it's trying different things. It samples a different method. Typically the clone is a little harder edged, I guess, when it's a little smaller there. And then the heal, yeah, it tries to blend it a little more with its surroundings. So typically for spots, the heal is going to work fine. You can also, if you don't want that there at all, if you want to decide that you're not going to use that tool, you just hit the delete button and your thing goes away. Another way to lay down a Retouch tool is just to click and drag, and that'll allow you to resize. So you can kind of just size it correctly per spot. So there we go. We take care of a couple of spots, and you see there that one actually kind of did it correctly. ACR, I guess from what I've noticed, is it tries to kind of put things along the right direction. So in this case, it kind of saw that there was this horizon out there, and it put the source spot kind of right next to where we wanted to be, so that it would look correct when it sampled over. We can try one over here. That one not quite so much, so we can come in and adjust it, and there you can see it's looking a lot better. So that's the beauty of this tool, is you can move that sample that sample spot around and get it looking correct. You can see there we kind of screwed it up again, but we fixed it. So it looks pretty decent, just like you would in Photoshop. But the really cool thing about this is you can go back to each of these that you already laid down, kind of move them around, resize them if you want to, you can really go back and fix stuff up without actually destroying your photo. If we go ahead and hit done and apply all those settings, it's going to apply everything that we just did down in this corner. We can open it back up in Camera Raw and zoom back in down here, hit our Retouch tool, and there's all of our original spots. So it's handy because you can go back and fix those things if you didn't intend to put something there. Or let's view this. Let's fit it on the screen. We can see some really big spots up here. Let's just take care of a couple of those up in the sky. And you can see how quick this can be, especially if you're editing up in the sky where you don't really care if there's a lot of textures being brought over or anything. So if it's something really flat like that, you can just kind of go hog wild and go for it. But typically when you're doing these spots, I don't know, you might want to be at 50% or 100% zoom just to make sure that you're getting all those sensor spots, especially. Those are a little bit smaller typically. So there we have it. It's a lot nicer looking picture. I can hit clear all, and a lot of that kind of comes back and looks gross. Control Alt Z will undo that. Brings them back. So there they are. So we'll hit done. Applies it here in Bridge. Looks nicer. You can see that those spots, the big spots, are gone. Using our loop, we still got a bunch of little spots in there that we saw before, but I'm not going to take care of those right now. So that's the Retouch tool for Adobe Camera Raw. Hopefully you guys found that useful. Maybe we can do a few more of these video tutorials in the future. Thanks for watching.